Welcome back to the Pursuit of Accuracy. I'm Josh, and today we are talking about cleaning rimfires. Now, this is something that I get asked pretty much every single day of the week, so I figured I would do an updated video, and I wanted to just give you guys the rundown of how exactly I do this. Now, we will clean this CZ457, but I'm going to cut through all the boring stuff and try and just condense this to a good, useful video for you guys who are looking to get into cleaning and maintaining a precision rimfire. Now I'm going to start off by saying that my method is my method. Your method may be totally different, and if you're doing it differently and you don't like the way I'm doing it, that's fine, because there's plenty of different ways to clean a rimfire. So let's talk about equipment. So the first thing I want to talk about is bore guides. This is the Borescope. This is actually a patch guide, so this will help you line up patches. You don't need to use a patch guide. You can just use a regular bore guide. Now this is a standard guide rod. This is also from Borescope. You're probably going to get tired of hearing me say that in this video, but pretty much everything I use is Borescope. So the next piece is going to be a high quality cleaning rod. Now this also Borescope but coated. This is a big thing. This is made for 22 cal, but specifically rimfire. Now you notice this is another rod. This one is fixed. It doesn't have any kind of bearings and it is much shorter. This is what I use to clean just a chamber area. Now I'm coming in close on you here so you can see this. This is a double aluminum jag. I really like this jag. This is a nylon brush, and this is my bore mop that I use. And as far as brushes go, nylon, whatever you want to use. I just happen to have a big collection of the nylon. Now here we have some patches. These are just 1-inch patches. And we're going to be using Rimfire Blend and Carbon Remover, both from Borescope. Now I do use a stage 2 shooter lube. That's the lube that I will use on the bolt and everything after I'm done. And if I missed anything as we're going through this, I'll be sure to bring it up. So the very first thing that I like to do is push a couple of wet patches through, and these are going to get most of the junk out of the barrel. And of course here you can see just how much fouling is in this. So we're going to push 2 more wet patches. Alright, so it looks like we got most of the major fouling out of this, guys. So what we're going to go ahead and do now is we are going to run a Borescope through this. And I'm going to do that to inspect the barrel and just see just how bad this carbon ring is, because that's going to let me know how long I need to let the carbon remover soak in the chamber before I start trying to brush it out. So I'm running the Tesla Borescope, and honestly, no matter what else you're doing with your rimfire cleaning, if you don't have a Borescope, you need to get one, because you're probably over cleaning. It's not that hard to get the carbon ring out, and I like to have a tool like this to make sure, 1, I am completely cleaning the rifle, and 2, wasting patches and my time trying to get something out that's not there. Alright, and I am going to be recording this so that you guys can also see this. Alright, so this is our chamber. You can see how wet it is here, and if you see that there, we do have a little bit of a carbon ring there, so we're just going to inspect a little bit more of this barrel. And as you can see, the barrel itself is pretty much already clean after those first couple of patches. That's one thing I found with rimfires in particular. If you push a couple patches down them, basically after that the barrel is going to be clean. It's just a chamber area that you need to worry about. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take this carbon remover. I'm going to go ahead and wet this nylon brush down with a little bit of carbon remover. And I'm just going to work just the very first part of the chamber, just the chamber area itself. So I'm just going to hit it with this brush a little bit, and maybe like 30 or 40 passes or something with the nylon just in the chamber area, just to try and break that up. Alright, then I'm just going to push a dry patch through. And then I'm going to go ahead and switch out my nylon brush for my bore mop. And I'm going to put some of this carbon remover on the bore mop as well. Now while I'm doing this, I do like to go ahead and slide, whether I'm running a bore guide or this patch guide, I want to go ahead and slide it back so that I can see how much that bore mop is in, and just to make sure I'm not past the chamber. So while this is sitting, we're going to let it sit for about 5 or 10 minutes. We're going to quickly talk about the bolt. And this bolt face isn't completely dirty, but all I really like to do with these is grab my bolt, take a nylon brush, and I'm just going to kind of work the top of the bolt and just get the grime off of it. Every couple thousand rounds I may actually take this apart and clean it, but for something like this, we're just going to knock it off. And this is also a great thing to do while you're waiting for that to sit and penetrate that carbon ring. You want to let that carbon remover get in there and start eating away and loosening up that carbon ring, because then we're going to take the brush to it again and it'll be a lot easier to work it out. All right, now that we've let that sit, we're going to go ahead and put our nylon brush back on, and I'm not going to bother wetting it because we already have so much carbon remover in the chamber already. It's already going to be pretty wet, so I'm just going to work this back and forth. And again, I'm just cleaning the chamber area. All right, so our carbon ring wasn't really too bad, so I'm just going to run some dry patches through here, and then we're going to use that Borescope and we're going to check to see what we look like. And I understand that some of you guys are watching me pull this back through without removing anything. You know, that's a preference thing. That's why I use these Boretech aluminum jags. And I'll quickly show you the benefit here. But there's actually a bevel on the back side here. So even as you're pulling this back through the crown, one, it's aluminum, and two, it's beveled. So there's really no way it can nick or mess up the crown of your barrel. I've never messed up a crown doing this. Of course, you know, if you're not comfortable, then, you know, go ahead and unscrew the jag at the end of the barrel. You know, it's your rifle at the end of the day, and however you clean it, as long as it gets clean and you don't damage it, then there's really no wrong way of doing it. All right, so we're going to go back in with the Borescope again, and we're just going to check on our chamber, and that looks pretty freaking good. So you can tell that carbon ring is gone. We have no buildup, so we're going to just quickly move down the barrel, do a quick inspection. Everything looks good. All right, just because I don't know when the next time I'm going to shoot this, I'm going to go ahead and put a little more Rimfire blend on this patch and just push this last final patch down. Rimfire blend's pretty good about having a good coating to leave on your barrel, and so this one I'll actually just work this patch a little bit as I push it through and get that Rimfire blend kind of evenly distributed. That way, if I don't end up shooting this for another month or so, which is highly unlikely, it'll be fine. And without a lot of time and not a lot of patches invested here, we've cleaned the rifle. So hopefully if you had questions about how I clean my rimfires, or you're looking to get into cleaning, maybe you just picked up your first real serious rimfire and you want to stay up on the maintenance and cleaning to keep it shooting its best, hopefully this helped you. I know there's a lot of Boretech products up here. I'm not sponsored by Boretech. I don't have a code. I'm not getting any kickback. I just use their stuff. I started using their rods, and then the chemicals and everything else. I just really can't recommend them enough. The rods have been just ridiculously good for me. These are the first ones I bought, you know, so I've had these the entire time I've been shooting rimfires. The Tesla Borescope, another worthwhile investment. If you don't have one, you can buy them on Amazon. Drop a comment down below and let me know. Give the video a like, share this with your shooting buddies. I appreciate you. We'll catch you on the next one.